Hello, I'm Teja Gerken, and I'm here with a pair of brand new Taylor 12 strings. The 352ce, which I'm holding, and the 362ce, which you see here next to me. Taylor has made 12 strings going all the way back to the very beginnings of the company. But for the most part, they have focused on making them in their original jumbo shape, which the company doesn't offer anymore, as well as with dreadnought bodies. Earlier this year, Taylor started introducing a line of 12 strings that was based on their smallest grand concert body. And it was part of the 500 series, so slightly higher up the line than the guitars that I'm holding here, which were just introduced this summer, which take a similar concept in terms of using the small grand concert body with a cutaway on a pair of guitars in the more affordable 300 series that the company has been offering for a long time. So these two guitars share some common ground in that they use the same grand concert body, but they are made from different woods. The guitar I'm holding here, the 352ce, uses the classic combination of sapele wood back and sides and a Sitka spruce top. That's been the original wood combination for 300 series guitars for a long time. The other guitar, the 362ce, uses Tasmanian blackwood back and sides and a mahogany top. So different tonal character, and I'll come back to that in a little bit, by featuring a hardwood top as opposed to a standard Sitka spruce top on the guitar that I'm holding. So while the woods are different, the guitars do share more common ground than just the body size. They both have short scale necks, 24 and 7/8 inches. They join the body at the 12th fret. So that combination creates an incredibly compact guitar that's very comfortable to play, and with a short scale, of course, you have slightly lower string tension. So these are among the easiest playing 12 strings that I've ever played. The guitars also share their appointments for the most part. Same kind of fingerboard inlay position markers, same kind of binding on the body, simple black and white, and essentially the same kind of rosette, except that the coloring is slightly different to work better on the darker top on the 362 than it is on the guitar that I'm holding, which is the 352ce. Both guitars use ebony for their fingerboards and bridges. They have ebony bridge pins, and they use enclosed chrome mini tuners at the peghead. The guitars also include Taylor's ES2 pickup system, and it's the same system for both guitars, with onboard controls for volume and tone, and of course the pickup elements installed behind the saddle, as they are on all the ES2 pickup systems that Taylor has been offering. As I mentioned, the playability on these guitars is really phenomenal. If you've ever been afraid of playing bar chords on a 12-string guitar, these are your candidates here. I've played many 6-string guitars that are harder to play than this. So this is really a great guitar for players who've just felt that the playability of 12-string guitars in general has been just a little bit too much to handle, or just too difficult to play. So really quite wonderful. But they're also great if you're going to be playing more challenging material that might be hard to pull off on a lot of 12 strings. You heard me play a little bit of Summertime in there with some bigger chords. But really anything you can play on a 6-string is very playable on this. It's really quite remarkable how Taylor has managed to increase the playability of their already very playable 12 strings in general, with this concept of the short scale, the 12-fret neck, and of course the setup that is legendary for Taylor guitars. So you've heard me play the spruce top version of these guitars, which to me sounds a little bit more, is sort of the slightly more dynamic guitar of the bunch. It might be, personally, it would probably be my choice for playing fingerstyle and playing somewhat quieter material, even though it does also sound quite nice when I'm strumming it. But let me briefly show you the acoustic sound of the 362 with the hardwood top. Okay, so I'm now holding the 362 with the Tasmanian blackwood back and sides and the mahogany top. I should say that the guitars really do feel identical. If I wasn't looking at the guitars, I couldn't tell which one I'm holding. The neck shape and the setup and everything is remarkably how close they are. To me, this guitar perhaps sounds a little bit darker. It doesn't quite have the response when I'm playing it fingerstyle, but still a very nice sound. Perhaps a little tiny bit quieter when I'm playing it softly like this, but the sort of natural compression that you get with a hardwood top, such as a mahogany top, does come in kind of nice if I'm strumming the guitar. It's a really nice sort of 12-string jangle. It's a very, very powerful sound, and it definitely develops quite a bit of volume if I'm digging in a little bit. So perhaps if I was choosing these guitars, this might be my choice for strumming. The other one might be more of my choice for playing fingerstyle. But either one of the guitars would serve you quite well played in either style. Let me show you what they sound like plugged in. Okay, so I now have the 352ce plugged into a Fishman Loudbox mini amplifier, and I'm going to show you what it sounds like plugged in. And I should say that while the tonal differences between the two guitars are somewhat pronounced when you're playing them acoustically, they are less noticeable when you're in a plugged-in environment. So I'm just going to show you what the guitars sound like using this guitar as an example, and I think it's applicable pretty much for both guitars. So here we go. So even strumming the guitar with the pick, which can be challenging for a lot of pickups, I'm still getting a very natural, balanced sound out of this. And that's also the case if I'm playing single note lines, which for some pickups is challenging to get the right kind of balance between the string, but I'm really getting similar volume, the same volume I should say, out of all the strings, and that's really one of the strong suits of the ES2 pickup system, that it provides a natural sound, a great string balance, and really an easy way to get a good sound. I'm completely flat on the EQ here, got the volume all the way up, and I'm going straight into the amplifier. So. So definitely a sound that is very usable on stage and in the studio, and definitely complements these two instruments very nicely. So those are Taylor's new grand concert size 352ce and 362ce 12 strings. They're a great addition to Taylor's line. If you've been on the fence about getting a 12 string but were worried about playability, these are definitely worth checking out. But also, if you're just looking for a really great sounding, well-balanced 12 string in general, whether you're playing fingerstyle or strumming, one of these two guitars is going to have you covered, and definitely worth checking out. So please come back and visit us here for more gear demos at Peghead Nation. My name is Teja Gerken.